Hey guys, it's Siobhan with To Kitty and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, hi, my name's Siobhan. I'm an intuitive tarot therapist, a spiritual counselor, and a Usui Reiki master. So today I wanted to talk about what's kind of going on energetically in the astral realm, in the dream state, in the collective consciousness, and how I've been seeing some of these things play out. So first and foremost, if you follow me on Instagram at To Kitty and Beyond, I've been posting a lot of content lately about like the dream state. I've got a new dream state tarot spread out, which looks into the meaning and the symbolism behind any significant dreams that you're having and the energy of them, what they're trying to tell you. And I've been having a lot of dreams myself lately, which I always do. I've always been a dreamer. I know that some people don't remember their dreams, or they feel like they don't have dreams. Just know that you do have dreams. You just may not remember them upon waking. But I've always, even since I was a little girl, I've always been an intense dreamer. My dreams are often almost like watching a movie, and sometimes I'm not even in my dreams. Most of the time it's just characters and I'm like watching things play out. Sometimes they're not even in like an earthly setting. Sometimes they're like in fantasy settings or like in space. So it's a lot of different themes, but lately I've been experiencing precognitive dreams, which I've talked about in past energy update videos, but I've been experiencing them more significantly over the past couple of weeks. And, this is something that I've experienced before, but to this extent, it's a little different. So, for example, not last night, but the night before, I had a dream where I was in a hospital setting, and I won't go into the details of the dream because it was very strange and interesting, but basically there was three themes. There was a hospital, there was a snake, and there was smoke or gas. And then the next day I was watching Friends after I'd finished all my work, and there was a hospital scene, there was a snake on a shirt, and there was smoke or gas in something else that I watched. So all of those themes played out just in what I was seeing. So it's almost like instead of dreaming and kind of going through the information of the day that you just had, it's dreaming and incorporating the information of the day that you're going to have next. So it's just kind of like your energy is reaching forward into the future, in air quotes, rather than the past. So because the future and the past are not separate, and we don't technically exist in linear time, that's just a construct of the human mind to understand it better, everything's happening in the now. So each now moment we can access through intention and through consciousness. So you can access your past through consciousness, you can access your future through consciousness, you can access other versions of yourself, etc. So the dream state kind of does this automatically. When you go to sleep, your subconscious mind takes over. You go into the astral realm or any other variation of realms that your consciousness decides to take you to. And it's kind of like a gateway for you to move into wherever you want to go. And the thing is that the subconscious mind will just do this automatically, and sometimes it brings up things that need to be looked at symbolically. Sometimes it's just processing information, and sometimes it gives you insight or clarity around things that need to be released, not only from your own subconscious mind, but from the collective human subconscious as well. Because we're all connected, because we are all one, and we have this one mind, anything that's in the collective that's coming up to be purged, to be cleared, to be looked at, can arise within your subconscious through you to be cleared as well. So if there's themes that are coming up that you're like, why is this happening? I don't understand. This isn't even relevant to my life. It could just be because you're clearing at that subconscious collective level. So keep that in mind as well. And when things come up, it's really just about bringing them into your awareness. So if you do remember your dreams, it can be really handy to write them down, keep a dream journal or just a journal in general, or just jot down some notes about the themes that occurred. You don't have to write down the whole dream, just the important points of it or the symbolism behind it, or the energy or the emotions that it made you feel, as the subconscious mind does work with emotion. And so anything that you are emotionally attached to or consciously contributing a lot of energy to will often show up in your dreams as well. There's also lucid dreaming, which some of you may know about, some of you may not. If you don't know what lucid dreaming is, it is conscious awareness that you are dreaming. So there's so many different ways that you can do this. I bought a lucid dreaming book. I believe it's just called Lucid Dreaming, years and years ago, and I started experimenting with it. I actually haven't been doing it much lately, but I remember that there was a couple of different ways that you could sort of trigger yourself to wake up in the dream, and one of them was looking at your hands or looking at something that was written down and noticing that it was completely different than it would be in real life, and then reminding yourself, this is a dream. And waking yourself up in the dream gives you access to like a new level of control, so you can create the dream there consciously rather than, experiencing the dream subconsciously. You still have some level of control, but in lucid dreaming you quite literally consciously create whatever you want. And I think that this is a really helpful practice for everybody, because it can help you to, first and foremost, learn how to control your reality consciously. We call it manifestation, law of attraction, conscious creation, but it's pretty much the same thing as lucid dreaming. It's waking up in the dream and then being aware that you can create. Obviously, in the dream, it's going to happen more quickly, and the kickback of what you're creating is going to be instantaneous, where it's not quite like that in the physical realm. There is a little bit of a lag in between what you set as your intention and then what you see as your manifestation, but that's getting smaller. So practicing lucid dreaming, or at the very least, just being aware of what you're dreaming about and what the symbolism means for you, can really help to increase your consciousness, increase your awareness, and help to clear old karma, and help to assist you in moving forward with your conscious creation abilities. So I also wanted to talk about something that came through to me last night as I was falling asleep. So I usually just meditate a little bit right before I fall asleep, if I don't do any other set meditation throughout the day. And last night, my guides were coming in, and my higher self, and they were showing me something that was pretty interesting. First and foremost, before I tell you the metaphor, my guides came in and, they were impressing upon me how important it is for me to talk to them. And I've been receiving this message a lot from my higher self. I've made a couple of funny spiritual memes about it on Instagram, but it's the truth. And I had been distracting myself, which I've talked about in a previous energy update video, if you guys follow me here on the channel, so you'll know about that. But there's another wonderful soul here on YouTube who I love and who I watch, Sensitive Souls. And she was talking about how it's almost as if we're like the Black Ops ground team, and we've got the other portion of our team, up in the higher realms. And it's so important for us to communicate with them, because if we don't communicate with them, then we don't necessarily know what the next course of the plan is or what we're supposed to be doing. And we are all supposed to be working together as a unit. Without that, the team kind of falls apart, and then the mission kind of falls apart as well. So it's so important that we're talking to our, higher team members, and not higher, but like they've got that bird's eye view, so they can see like what the next step is, what we're supposed to be doing. And we're here on the ground, we're masters, like we're very high level, highly trained Black Ops, spiritual team members, but like we are in the third dimension, so we do have some perceptions of limitation is what I want to say, not actual limitations. We have perceptions of limitations, which can be transcended through connection to the higher aspects of our team. So they were telling me that, they were confirming that to me. They were saying like, yes, that's very true, and you haven't been listening, and that's okay. Like, they're never judgmental, which is amazing. They're never like angry. They're just always loving, always supportive. They're like, it's all part of the process. Even that was part of the process, so don't worry about it. But like, we've got so much information to share with you if you're ready to open up and receive it. And so my guides were showing me a lot of different things that relate just to my own personal spiritual journey, but then they were showing me something which I thought was pretty cool, and it's quite simple, but I wanted to share it with you guys. And they were showing me like a spool of wool, and how the wool is woven into a blanket with all these little knots and little, like if you've ever knitted something or crocheted, then you'll know what I'm talking about, how you make all these little loops and then you create this blanket, you create this solid thing. And they were showing it to me like, if you can, sort of pull apart the weave of the blanket, it looks like there's separation in between. But when you unravel it, it's all one strand of wool. And so this was kind of like a metaphor for consciousness and how we are all connected through the collective consciousness. We look like little separate bits of wool, like separate little loops, but when it's all unraveled, we are all one. It's all one. There's no separate in it at all. It's an illusion of space created by the way things are kind of just looped around. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I love how my guides give me these really interesting kind of metaphors or analogies for consciousness or for the spiritual journey that are very practical and for me understandable. So I hope that you guys understand them as well, and that it gives you this kind of new insight as to some of these more complicated esoteric spiritual concepts. Because they really help me to see things in this new way and to understand it on a more simplistic, deeper level. Because it's all one, everything is simple. And I think that we tend to overcomplicate things just with the human mind. But at an energy level, everything's very, very simple. And as above, so below, everything repeats. Every structure is infinite. So if it exists on a smaller level, we can just kind of blow that up and think about it in larger terms. And then that's also true. So I think that is everything that I wanted to talk about today. So thank you guys so much for listening. If you'd like to book a Reiki session with me at this time, I'm still offering the 33% off discount. So it's now reduced from $144 to $97 Canadian for a 90-minute holographic Usui Reiki session where we go in depth into each one of your chakras. I work with the 7 main chakras just to keep things a little bit simple because it's still quite intensive just with those. But we look into each energy center and we see what wants to come forward to be healed. We clear, we balance, and get everything back into alignment. I've seen things like past lives come forward. All sorts of things. Oh my God. Symbolism, things from your guides, soul origins, and entity removal, cord cutting, whatever needs to happen. I've also seen scars or wounds in the energy field that needed to be healed from past lives, like in several different lives, having the same wound occur because it's an energetic wound and it needed to be healed. Otherwise, it would continue to repeat. So these kinds of things, and every session is different. I never know what's going to come up for you. It's not like an intentional thing. It's just whatever the soul wants to do. So, if you guys are interested in that, please reach out to me at services.2kittyandbeyond@gmail.com. And I'm also offering the Dream Interpretation Tarot Spread for a limited time. So that's a 3-card spread for $13. And it goes into the energy of the dream, what it means for you, and how to, put that energy into practice or to clear that energy if that's what's being required. So please reach out to me for any services or offerings, and all of the information will be in the description box below. So check that out for more details on what I have to offer to you guys. And I'm so honored to be able to work with such amazing souls. And thank you so much for all being here and supporting my channel, supporting my work, supporting and listening to my message. Thank you so much from the